Communication is a process by which information is transmitted and understood between two and more people, which is the word understood. Because transmitted, the sender's intended meaning is the essence of good communication. We had choose three subtopics from this main topic, which are a model of communication, non-verbal communication, and gender differences in communication. The observation toward the workers in Organization X will related to this subtopic. Okay, let's move on to first subtopics, which is model of communication. Model of communication that stress on is influence on effective encoding and decoding. By referring a model of communication, effective communication were produced when a sender have ability to send some short message to receiver with a clear and accurately encode, which is based on the complete information of substance from form and also known as sender. Decode is translating message or data from a code into the original language or form. In organization, one of important have an effective communication to make a situation become harmony and peaceful. There are two models of communication that can be related to the observation, which are similar code books and message encoding proficiency. What is a similar code books? A similar code books has defined the transmit symbols and sign. Sender and receiver rely on code books, which are meaning of symbols, language, gesture, idioms, and other tools used to convey information. The similar code books like repeating the message in different way and less need for the confirmation. During the observation, a similar code book occurs when a female cashier taking our order. What is message encoding proficiency? Message encoding proficiency has defined can communicate with other people in a better way. Certain people have a good in communicate and give a message in appropriate way. They learn through experience, which is words, symbols, and voice intonation. It has been proven that individuals that understand the communication process will blossom into more effective communicators, and effective communicators have a greater opportunity for becoming a success. During observation, a male cashier have a good message encoding proficiency because he used appropriate way while serving our group member. Second subtopics of communication in teams and organization. Non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is important as the verbal communication of interpersonal communication in creating the outcome of worker-customer interactions. Non-verbal communication include facial gesture, voice intonation, physical distance, and even silence. The meanings and message of verbal behavior become more complex because difference in gender, occupation, class, race, and culture. During observation, boy workers should know non-verbal communication of their customers, especially during taking their order. In addition, all workers in any organization should give positive facial expression to their customers, such as smiling, even though they are not in good mood. Manager must know the impact of non-verbal communication on customers' evaluation, so that will enable them train their workers to apply non-verbal cues more effectively, so it will affect positively to the customer's perception. Lastly, we will continue the third subtopic, which is gender difference in communication. Major workplace it was familiar have a man and woman employees, and also they have similar communication practice, but sometimes that communication lead to misunderstanding and conflict between both of the gender. Men communication more direct to the point when giving some of advice to others. and always an aggressive words and language. Meanwhile, women always seek of advice from others more quickly compared to the men. Women feelings more sensitive, and as all of our member group women, there are more mixed up and emotion while deciding some reason.
Hello guys, we are going to explain our observation finding result and explain it to you guys, and I hope you understand what we are going to explain to you. First of all, today we are going to explain about individual behavior and Mars model. But first, do you know what is the meaning of individual behavior? Individual behavior is how individual behaves at work, and it can influence a person's behavior in an organization by attitude, perception, personality, stress, belief, and norms. Individual behavior can also be defined as how individual behaves at work. There are 5 types of individual behavior, that is task performance, organizational citizenship, counter-production behavior, joining with the organization, and maintaining attendance. Task performance consists of 3 elements, which are goal, adapting, and task-related behavior. Next, we are using Mars model to evaluate our observation and relate it to the individual behavior theory. Mars model of individual behavior is a model that seeks to elaborate individual behavior as a result of internal and external factors or influences combined together. The name itself is an acronym for individual motivation, abilities, role perception, and situational factors. Direction refers to the path along which people steer their efforts. Intensity is the amount of effort allocated to the goal. Persistence is continuing the effort for a certain amount of time. Ability is the natural tendency and learning capabilities needed to complete a task successfully. It has 4 different parts, namely learn capabilities, competencies, and person job fit. Aptitudes are natural talents that help employees learn specific tasks more quickly and perform them better. Natural aptitudes are naturally having an employee self, and it helps them easier to finish their task. Learned capabilities are the skills and knowledge that you currently possess. Next, role perception refers to how clearly people understand the job duties assigned to or expected of them. There are 4 types of role perception. They are understanding the task to be performed, understanding associated importance of tasks allotted, understanding preferred behavior to complete respective tasks, and clarifying role perception. Situational factors refer to the conditions beyond the employee immediate control that constrain, facilitate behavior and performance.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, do you know what personality is? Personality is the relatively enduring pattern of thought, emotions, and behavior that characterize a person, along with the psychological processes behind those characteristics. There are 2 theories related to personality in this observation, which is Big 5 personality traits and Jungian personality theory and Myers-Briggs type indicator.
Let's start with Big 5 personality traits, which consist of conscientiousness, agreeableness, neuroticism, openness to experience, and extraversion. Conscientiousness is related to impulse control, but it should not be confused with the problem of impulse control associated with other personality traits. Individuals low of conscientiousness are unable to motivate themselves to perform a task that they would like to accomplish.
Agreeableness is trait manifesting itself in individual behavior characteristics that are perceived as kind, sympathetic, cooperative, warm, and considerate. We found out that employees in moderate rate of agreeableness factor personality. Some of them show a flexibility in doing their job. They also seem can be trusted and helpful.
Individuals who score high of neuroticism are more likely than average to be moody and to experience such as feelings as worry, fear, angry, frustration, envy, jealousy, depressed. People who are neurotic respond worse to stressor and are more likely to interpret ordinary situations as threatening and minor frustration as hopelessly difficult.
Openness involves 6 phases or dimensions, include active imagination, creativity, preference for variety, and intellectual curiosity. One of employees have a high aesthetic sensitivity during work. She likes to ensure all the things being at the right place. We can see that employees have a low dimension in creativity because the employees and manager don't have a creativity to decorate their workplace.
Extraversion can be defined as a behavior where someone enjoys being around people more than being alone. We can see that employees at the restaurant more introversions than extraversion. He likes to communicate with customers. He also energetic and sociable during working. Meanwhile, also have 1 or 2 employees that not sociable during working.
Okay, now let's move to the Jonquian personality theory and Myers-Briggs type indicator. There are 4 type indicators, which is energy, information, decision, and lifestyle. Extraversion versus introversion. Extroverts tend to enjoy human interaction and to be enthusiastic, talkative, assertive. Meanwhile, for the employee that have introversion personality is not energized in doing their tasks.
Senses versus intuitions. The difference between these 2 personality traits is senses personality more prefer to be reliability in information. We found out that employees that have a senses personality is observe information based off data and details. Meanwhile, for the employees that using intuitions in obtain information is more rather learned by thinking a problem through than by hand-on experience.
Thinking versus feeling. Thinking type are significantly less likely to give to charities or be touched by their emotional appeals, while people with feeling orientation rely on their own emotion to make decisions like empathetic, caring, and emotion focus.
Judging versus perceiving. Judging is someone with sense of control by taking charge of their environment and making choice to achieve their goals. Perceiving people more flexible, like to act spontaneously, adaptable, and think randomly. The employees have these 2 personalities. They can act spontaneous to solve a problem and they sometimes take time to do a decision.